Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sequoia Lending. So, if this is the first time you are here on our platform, we are a commercial lending company. We are a commercial lending broker, rather, that can fund small businesses, whether it's real estate related, commercial real estate related, or just business only. We can fund 1 to 4 unit fix and flip non-QM properties, all the way to commercial development, construction, warehouses, retails, you name it. Anything that is makes sense, we have the funding for you. But on top of it, we also fund a lot of small businesses that does not have anything to do with real estate, such as working capital, equipment loans, term loans, acquisition of businesses, so on and so forth. Again, as long as the business that makes sense, we can fund them. So as I mentioned, we just Mr. Benny Miller, he has a client that needs funding, and we funded that lady $10,000 in 3 days. Now, besides of that, we also provide business service also on our platform. We do cost segregations. If your client has any commercial properties, we can utilize cost segregations to help them to reduce a lot of taxes. We also provide wellness program. And as we speak right now, we are developing a new AI system for the wellness program. Where if you don't know what wellness program is, that is the program where we can provide free benefits. Let me say it one more time. Free benefits to small businesses, to their employees. There's no cost to the employer, no cost to the employee. As long as they enroll, the employee is going to get health insurance, life insurance, vision, dental, you name it. It's all paid for by the federal government. And as we speak, we are working with developing an AI system in the back so that the AI can help you to answer all the questions about this particular program. So that one should be pushing out very, very, very quickly. So that is, again, that is what Sequoia Lending's platform is. Our name, if this is the first time that you're here with us, is Sequoia Lending. But however, we are slowly transition our company from just a commercial lending company into a business solution company where we provide all the businesses and services I just mentioned. So our new name will be Sequoia Enterprise Solution. It's going to be Sequoia Enterprise Solution. Okay, so what are we going to be talking about today? Before I bring up the main speaker tonight, I'm going to have a few announcements. So many of you know that Sequoia, we are actually on the financial coach board for an organization called National ACE. Okay, National ACE. National ACE stands for National Asian Pacific Islander Chamber of Commerce of Entrepreneur. Long name, but anyway, it's called National ACE. If you do a search, National ACE, you will find that website. It's a non-profit organization, and happen to be that Sequoia. It's one of the financial coach in that organization. So we help their businesses, their members to get fundings for their businesses. Now, through National ACE is a big nonprofit organization that representing over 2 million Asian-owned businesses here in the United States. Go check them out if you are Asian. But again, if you're a minority, whatever business that you're in, they welcome you. You can join them. Okay. Now, through their network, we are able to get a lot of resources. So the one that we are promoting right now is a $10,000 grant from Verizon. Let me show you. Let me share the screen. Everybody can see my screen, right? So this is the grant. All you have to do just to go into this website, and if you do not remember the web address, just go to our Facebook, and we post it on our Facebook. It's right here. Okay, all you have to do just to click on it, and if you do not have a business, by all means share that with your business, share that with your community. It's a $10,000 from Verizon. I don't know how many $10,000 that they have, but again, just go ahead and apply. Ask your community to apply. It's free to apply. Does not cost them anything. But make sure that they mention, when they apply, mention National ACE, then they will have a much, much higher chance to win this particular grant. Okay? So I would ask everybody to go ahead and do that. Um, that's the first announcement, but I have a second announcement, but I'm going to wait It has a lot to do with generating loans. So I'm going to wait until the end of the presentation. So let me stop this. So what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, let me share with you what we have been closing recently. Many of you already know the interest rate has dropped since August, I believe, since August. And before August, the interest rate for 1 to 4 unit, I'm specifically talking about 1 to 4 unit, the interest rate was somewhere around 8.5, 9%, crazily high. So a lot of investors actually just sitting on the sideline, waiting for things to happen. Watch the game. Hey, no doubt about this. The interest rate is high. It discouraged a lot of investors to go out there to purchase any investment property. But in August, all of a sudden, the interest rate dropped dramatically from, I would say, from somewhere high in the 8-9% range all the way down to six, all the way down to 6.5, somewhere around that number. So we've been very, very, very busy out there closing 1 to 4 units. Now, many of you know, Sequoia, we are a broker. We work with many lenders out there. But even though we work with many lenders, we only honestly work with a few lenders that we can really, really depend on. It's what we call the preferred lender, meaning that, hey, every time when we get a deal, they are the one that will receive the deal first. If they cannot do it, then we send it to someone else. Now, why do we send this deal to some particular lender? It's because the accountability. It's because of their service. It's because their underwriting team. It's because of they're reliable. When we need them, we call them, they answer phones. Hey, quite frankly, a lot of the lender out there, when you call them, they don't answer phone. They don't pick up phones. But with some lenders, you call them, they pick up phones. If they cannot pick it up, they will call you back immediately. And some lender, like Mr. Joe, tonight, I call him at midnight. He will pick up phones. I tell Joe, hey, help me out. I need you to be in New York. He will be in New York with me. I told him that, Joe, I have a presentation. I need you to meet up with me. He will drove all the way from New Jersey to anywhere that I ask him to go. He will come. It's just because he value our business. And we have a long-term relationship with Joe and his team. And we closed, wow, ever since we first met, Joe, how many deals we closed? I would say at least 100 deals. At that time was with Dominic. Unfortunately, Dominic was not, Dominic's in a much better hand right now. We closed so many deals with Dominic, and right now we're closing so many deals with Joe and Aaron and Chris in his organization. So he's the money guy. He used to own thousands and thousands of doors, units, investment properties, and he sold them and he makes so much money and now he become a lender. So he is the money guy. So he is one of my mentor. A lot of people ask me, hey, Alan, where did you learn all these things from? Honestly, I'm very blessed in my lifetime to know people like Joe. He has tremendous amount of knowledge in what he does, and we constantly talk. Every time when I have a deal, I always call him up. He gave me a lot of idea, a lot of thoughts. He guide me through, and it's not just a lender to me. He's a friend. He's a mentor. He's an older brother. Older brother. Okay, so that's how I see him. So when I ask him, I say, "Hey, Joe, we closed quite a few deals, and I have been out there talking to people about generating deals. This industry is not that difficult to get involved. This industry, quite frankly, there's a lot of agents out there don't even know things like this exist." So I asked Joe, I say, Joe, why don't you come onto our platform and why don't you share with everybody from your perspective as the lender instead of me? I mean, I've been talking about it every Wednesday night, but I want you to share with our team what you are seeing out there. We need your help, Joe. So again, Joe, the floor is yours. Thank you so much to be on our platform.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And as always, Alan is a very humble young man, and I appreciate the opportunity to work with everybody at Sequoia. And Alan and George is kind of spearheading it for us, making sure that that funnel of information back and forth is always working well. We've been very fortunate, as Alan mentioned, being able to work together for a lot of years at this point and having closed quite a good number of loans together. But it's not just the loan, it's also just helping the people, right? You're enabling to get their businesses reorganized sometimes with the cash flows and the money. Sometimes it's for additional investment in their existing businesses and or to buy other investment properties. but the opportunity to help and work with the people long term through Alan, the people at Sequoia on the whole is a great, great opportunity for us, and we appreciate that. As Alan mentioned, the markets have changed a lot in the last probably 2 months in particular, maybe 10 weeks at this point. There was a big anticipation that the Federal Reserve would finally slow down and, maybe top interest rates off and start to have them come down a bit. And that's what we did see in the market. And as that began to change, we saw a large increase in demand. And around the industry, we've seen loan requests go up probably 33% at least, maybe 50% actually. So everyone's been busy, which is great. For us, we're providing Alan, Georges, and Sequoia the resources to be able to fund as many dollars as you can find. Truthfully, there's really no limit. We're doing deals from, I think the smallest deal we did was just a little over 50,000,
Yep.
and the largest ones are, a few $1 million. So
Yep.
that opportunity is pretty wide ranging as you work with clients all across the country in different pockets. Obviously, loan sizes are different, depending on where you are, but we're able to work with you and handle that. We can help you fund in basically every state in the country, except for North and South Dakota. We don't really fund in Vermont, and we don't really fund in Utah. But outside of that, it's very flexible. I think one of the things that people have really come across from the bank side to this quasi-private world is the fact that people are just tired of how long it takes to work with a bank and how difficult that's really become. There's a lot of regulation, tons of paperwork and forms that need to be filled out all the time. And in our world, we make it a little more streamlined, a little easier, and clients and customers really are very happy with that. Not having to use tax returns, a big blessing, right? Think about how many people are self-employed out there. And on those self-employed tax returns, they usually take some liberties, let's just say, and maybe they don't report all their income, and that causes them problems sometimes when they're looking for funding. In our world, not asking for tax returns makes it a much simpler process for them. Another key aspect that a lot of people like in our world is the loans themselves will not appear on people's personal credit reports. Now, I have to caveat and say, if your clients don't make payments, we have the right to report it. But in general, if your customers, your clients, your friends, your business associates are making payments on their loans, the loans will never appear on their personal credit reports, and that's a friendly position to be in. Now, you want to go get a personal mortgage for your own primary residence, the loans you have on your investment properties are not impacting your debt to income ratio at all. And that makes it much more user-friendly for you. So we're keeping it simple. No personal income verification. So we're not asking for W-2s, no pay stubs, no tax returns, keeping it nice and simple. The key aspects are credit scores, loan to value ratios or loan to costs, and the cash flow or the ability of a property to cash flow and what that looks like mathematically. We also do a lot of new construction loans around the country. Right now, some of the areas you might expect are hot, like the greater Atlanta, Florida, Tennessee, out through Texas, those Smile State areas, very busy. Somebody jumped on, the gentleman earlier was from Newport News, Virginia, an area we like a lot is that Southern Virginia market where the military bases are. That's been very, very popular and very successful. I would say pre-COVID, probably that I know of since probably 2018, 2017. We've been successful working together with Alan and his team in those areas. Those have been very good to us all. And then not obviously, but now the Midwest is literally on fire. This month alone, we did 27 or 29 loans in Ohio, which usually is a pretty good state for us, but pretty good would be 6 to 8 loans. And here, just people from all over America investing there as price performance is great. You're seeing the same thing in Michigan, south side of Chicago, the west side of Milwaukee, down into Missouri, from parts of St. Louis, Jefferson City, Kansas City. We do some work pretty consistently in Oklahoma City. So right down that Midwest of the United States is very, very hot right now. You're seeing a lot in Indiana, Illinois, not just Chicago, but around Illinois. Price points are good. Cash flow is very good. And with interest rates, as Alan mentioned, coming down a little bit from that 8% area back down to 6.5%, makes a big difference in that cash flow. And people have really come out of the woodwork trying to get leverage for their properties. You might be surprised, but if you look around America, about 4 out of every 10 homes are owned free and clear, which, when I first learned of that statistic, I was amazed by. We always hear about how much debt's out there, how much debt, but a lot of people have done a great job of paying down their single families. Then they started to move as their families grew and expenses grow. They need money and access to money. And, people like ourselves are there to be able to help very simply and easily. Teaming up with Alan and his immediate team and being able to reach across the country and help Sequoia everywhere you guys are is a huge bonus to both sides. This past month, we were working with Alan in the background, and we had we did relay to him that if we could meet a certain volume hurdle, we could provide a discount, a rebate to you guys to help give you a little extra dollars at the table to say thank you for your business. That partnership over the years has built that strongly that to us, it's a very important piece. We like the people we work with too. They're very professional. People in our office enjoy working with them and interacting with them. Makes it a pleasure. To not have the stress when everyone's trying to close and just keep that calm and work together is fantastic. It makes a great relationship. Right now we're working on a larger package where as many as 29 properties at once down in the Texas market. So we can do bigger portfolios of properties as well if you come across that. Right down to one simple single family. We do properties up to 10 units, residential style with 30-year fixed rate loans. People like that a lot. It's hard to find that out there in the commercial world. Those loans are a little bit different than a commercial bank loan where maybe the rate's only fixed for 5 years at a time. People really enjoy that 30-year fixed rate, just like you do on your houses, right? In your primary residence, that mortgage you're used to generally either has a 15, a 10, a 20, but most people around the country have 30-year fixed rate mortgages. That's what they're used to. And when they go into the commercial world for their investment properties, quite often they're looking for that and are very disappointed that they can't find it. You have these tools available to you to be able to supply that to them in a very, very user-friendly way. Again, that same person that just got, let's say, Q-tipped, I like to use that term, but they were asked so many questions to get their primary residence mortgage. And now you're taking them here for their investment property, and they're really only being asked for a couple of documents. It's a refreshing change for them, and you're making it a very pleasant experience for them. And that's key, right? That way enables you to keep building referrals, building continuous add-on business with them. And look, we all know when people are happy, they like to brag a little. And they're going to tell their friends that they trusted you and you delivered for them. And their friends will then come to you as your trusted advisor, right? And you guys know from your own businesses, that's really what it's about. Entering that equation as a trusted advisor, not just a broker, but a trusted advisor, someone they can depend on for good advice, is trustworthy, that delivers, that brings very competitive pricing structure always. That's really what they're looking for. And the really good news is you really can deliver it at best of breed in the market on a daily basis. Alan and his team have worked really hard to put together a couple of really good, reliable lenders, as he mentioned. Yes, sometimes we actually do talk between 10 and 12 p.m. at night. That is true. He's not exaggerating. But for us, it's a way of life. I mean, we're real estate junkies. I'm not nearly as sophisticated as you guys on the business funding side, on the pure business funding side. But if there's real estate attached to it, we are here to help you. We're pretty much open, every day, basically, except for maybe like Easter and Christmas. We give everybody a kind of a break that day. But the other 363, we're ready to go. Alan and his group do a great job of sending us stuff on the overnight. We try to respond early by 10 a.m. That way none of us lose the day. We can help you, you can help us with information, and we can get to the table. I think in the last month, I checked with the team. I think we closed 8 or 10 loans in the last month, which is pretty nice. but our goal is to keep growing and helping you and supplying you the most competitive pricing with a consistent, simple to follow, understandable set of rules that need to be followed. They're very simple, very short, and we're trying to be as consistent as possible with that. So Alan and Georges can help you guys understand what's required each time to make it easier on you and be efficient with your customers so the customers are happy, right? That's the key. We want to make people happy. We want to be transparent. We want them to understand, always feel comfortable that their questions are being answered by you. If you need help from us more thoroughly, no problem. We're here to help you. You know, Alan can jump on a call, George's, myself, Chris, always happy to do that if you need help with that. We're here to help you and support you. The markets have been fantastic. Interest rates coming down a little bit. Liquidity is really, really good. The ability to fund deals has rarely, honestly, ever been better. I know you hear a lot of things in the news. People are worried about this and that, but I could tell you from the capital market side, the money is there. No one has pulled back from the market. And even most of the lending guidelines have actually been loosened up, not tightened up. So people are really, really actively looking to put money out. The opportunities are there. If you have a question, maybe something that doesn't necessarily fit the box, but it's worth asking the question. Alan had come to us, I think it was maybe Thursday night or Friday night. I think it was Thursday night this past week, and brought for one of the buildings that's in his backdrop. It looks like one of those buildings.
Yep.
But we were looking for a condominium loan of $8.5 million. Normally, our cutoff would be about 5 million, but we were able to provide terms to him in a day.
Yep.
So those opportunities are out there, and we're looking actively to work together and grow that together. We will do our best to keep you guys incentivized on any additional rebates we can provide you. The most important thing for us is to keep building the relationship. As you know, we've been doing it for quite a while. It's hard to find people as good as Alan to work with and his team here at Sequoia. The integrity of the people, the manner with which you guys all conduct yourselves professionally is truly a pleasure. If you were on with me 30 minutes before, you would have saw quite the opposite, dealing with somebody who did something very unscrupulous, you know, very non-transparent. And we had to call them out on that because, look, we're all in this, we're all professionals, but you have to be transparent with customers. You cannot leave them in the dark. That is not the way to handle things. Even if you have bad news to deliver, you have to deliver it. Everyone can deal once they know what they have to deal with. But if you don't know and you're surprised, that could really, really hurt somebody. And we never want to do that. So sometimes we may say, listen, we need to get on a call together. We have to go over something. We will do our best together, not you, not me, but together, to work through that, to minimize any kind of damage control for a client, including cutting our fees to help make that as neutral as possible for them. That's very important. This is about the long term. This is not about today. You know, we started this quite a number of years ago together. We'll do this for quite a number of years to go. It's not about any one loan. It's about relationships, building teams, and support. And if we do that well together, we can help you guys make a bunch of money. You can make a lot of people happy, which will bring you more business in other areas and opportunities as the Sequoia platform overall keeps growing in what they can offer to small and medium-sized businesses around the country. And that can all help each other work together to help you maximize your opportunities in front of clients. And as far as I'm concerned, if we do that well on our part in capital markets, helping Alan and Sequoia, we've done a good job, and we want to keep helping you guys grow that. If you guys have any questions, you know, we're happy to take them and help you with that. You know, we're almost 24/7, 365, like Alan and his team, his immediate team. So we're happy to help. Look, being here tonight, working with you guys at Sequoia is a blessing to us. Alan was very generous in his kind words as we jumped on tonight. He's a very humble guy and a great, you know, very nice person. The way he interacts with people, treats other people, and is there to support them. So I think it's a very good team scenario. It works for everybody's benefit, for you out there in the field, for him more centralized in the office as the hub where that information flows through. I can tell you you're being represented very, very well. And that's very important to each and every one of us, but especially to you out there in the field as you're in front of clients and sitting with them. You can feel very comfortable and confident that your interests of your client are being well represented. They're being represented honestly, with the highest level of integrity. It's being taken seriously, each and every one of their questions, to make sure they're answered properly and thoroughly so that people feel comfortable and confident with Sequoia and keep growing that brand out there. So again, if you have any questions, I'm happy to take them. If there's anything in the chat, Alan, or if anybody wants to just open their mic and ask a question, let's do it. Thank you.
Sure. Let me ask the first question. But again, team, feel free. Okay, feel free to ask your questions. But let me ask the first question, Joe. Um, in your on your side of the world, what kind of advice that you can give us as a lender that where to find clients? I'm sure that everybody would like to ask this question. I have my own answer, but I would like to hear from you, or please give us some advice from your point of view, and especially in today's market. I mean, it's hot out there right now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, some of the easiest ways, I mean, honestly, if I was a loan officer out there, one of the things that I would do is I would look up all the recorded mortgages in the county with where I am and see who has mortgages that only have, 12 months and see what they're doing with them. Can we help you refinance? Are you looking to sell the property? What is your goal? So those mortgages are recorded, they're public records. You can see them there and you can find the people attached to them pretty easily. That would be one way to find people who already use money as investment, as a tool, and you can identify them. So for me, that would be an easier place to go. Then again, getting into the retail mortgage brokerage shops, the retail residential real estate shops, and finding out who works with bank-owned properties, who's the asset managers, right? Those types of people are the key people. They can give you multiple deals a month and many throughout the year. And befriending them, understanding them. If you wanted to go on LinkedIn, most people are familiar with LinkedIn. One of the things I would type in the search bar is special asset manager. What will come up are probably 20 names, and those people are special asset managers of real estate owned. You can communicate with them directly through LinkedIn at that point. Tell them where you are in the market, what geographic areas you cover, if they ever had something they want to move off their books in your area, you're here to help. You can make them an offer. You work with a bunch of investors. Those are a way to communicate directly with people who have access to deals for you. Those are two, very simple, no cost ways to find people that own properties, that own investment properties, that want and need to do something to move and be efficient with their money. And you're in line there to help them with that. So those are two simple ways that I would recommend.
I would definitely concur what you just said, because again, one thing that we always do is to look for not just the client, but to look for where the source of those clients are. Especially in our line of business, actually, not many people out there doing what we do. Quite frankly, a lot of the loan officers out there don't even know things like this even exist. So, for myself, what I have been doing all these years is to look for professional partners. Who are these professional partners? Real estate agent, loan officers, bankers, insurance agents, because these people are already trained professionals out there looking for business, selling their business. And many of their clients are already business owners. If you're real estate agents, I bet a lot of your client or a lot of their client purchasing property is not for primary residence. They're purchasing for investment property. Now, from a real estate agent's point of view, they really don't care where their client get their loan from. As long as the deal can close, everybody's happy. So knowing that coming to the commercial side and you can get funding without looking at in regard looking at DTIs, none of those financial statements, no bank statement, no tax returns, such and such, make things a lot easier. It's much better for the agent as well because now we can close deal in 30 or less than 30 days to get it done. So my suggestion is that go out there and definitely share what you can do with real estate agents and also talk to loan officers. A lot of the loan officers out there today, 99% of them are traditional loan officers that they can only do primary residence in investment properties. But from their world, it's very, very hectic and it's also very challenging, competitive as well. But if you can let them know that, hey, whatever deals that you cannot do, bring it to on our platform. We can close that deal for you. They would be surprised how easy it is, and perhaps they will join you in your team as well. So same thing, go with bankers. A lot of the bankers today cannot get deal done. All the banker, let me tell you, all the banker, what they care is the deposit. They want deposit, but many of them cannot close deals. So talk to bankers, insurance agents, same thing. So again, those are the type of people that I would suggest you to go after. Let them know that what you can do. Okay. Now I promise everybody that hey, we do have a second announcement. Okay, that goes back to you, Joe. Let me share with this screen first. So if you go to our Facebook page and the picture right here is talk about October to remember. So if you remember this contest, now tomorrow is the last day of October. If you didn't catch it, it's over. But if you remember this contest, what happened is that if you submit a deal 1 to 4 unit, because we want you to make money. A lot of people come into Sequoia, they think, oh wow, you can do apartment, you can do renovation, you can do all these construction, all these big deals, millions of dollar deals. Yes, all those $1 million deals sounds very sexy. But the reality is that it takes a long time to get it done. I want everybody in this room to get a paycheck every Friday. Now, what kind of product you can focus on to get a paycheck every Friday? One of them is definitely the 1 to 4 unit investment property. You put it in right, we give you a term sheet. Pretty much, we already know that we can close that deal. So we can get that deal closed in approximately 30 days. So you will see a paycheck. So in October, we run this contest. If you submit a deal that is 200,000, I don't want you to submit a $50,000 deal. We can do it, but again, there's not much meat in it. So if you submit a deal of $200,000 in October and you close it in November, normally it takes about 30 days to get it done. Or even in December, it doesn't really matter. As long as it closed, besides of your commissions. On top of it, we also give you $1,000 bonus. So today, let me congratulate the Paradise couple, Aurora and Lou. They submitted a portfolio with 5 properties. 5 properties. Who else? I don't see him. Edric from Pennsylvania, he submitted a deal. Holly in Texas, she submitted a deal. Who else? We have Henry in Chicago submitted a deal. Again, we have many people submit deal already. That once the deal closed, they get their $1,000. And guess where the $1,000 come from? It's from our money guy, Mr. Joe, right here. So we negotiate hard when he's saying that he's going to give us a little token. That is from their shop. So again, that is the relationship between us. You go to any other lender, you tell them, hey, give me an extra $1,000. They are not going to give it to you. But with Joe, with that kind of relationship, because we close a lot of deals, they are very generous to give us that. Hey, every deal that you closed, they give us extra $1,000 as bonus. So Joe, let me ask you this. Now this contest is over. Can we do it one more time in November?
Yes, we're going to extend that for November. And
okay, go ahead.
If we can get through, we're going to get through closing tomorrow for the end of the month and then extend it into November. We're looking for the opportunity to work with everybody and keep growing that. And for us, it makes sense.
Yep.
Good business decision. Again, the Sequoia family and platform has been great to us and great to work with, and we want to continue to build that relationship.
Well, thank you so much,
we're
Joe.
all in with Sequoia.
Thank you so much, Joe. Now, I probably you know it already, but I used to be in the Navy, and I was an EDO, engineering duty officer. And one thing that my XO taught me all the time is that, Alan, you have to watch out. You have to fight for your troops. See, in a ship, when we were in the ship, we manage a group of people, and there are times that you have time slots to eat your lunch. Okay, and sometimes they give you a very bad timing, very bad time slot for you for your troops to eat lunch, and nobody's happy. Hey, but that is the reality on the ship. So the XO told me, the CO told me that, hey, Alan, you need to fight for your troops. So sometimes you got a bad time slot, or sometimes you get something. You have to learn how to push, and get the things that you can provide to your troops. Because when you go to the battlefield, and if you can provide them, and if your troops knows that you are here to watch how they're back, they will fight for you. And that's what I learned from the Navy. Now, Joe, I'm going to do this on you. I'm going to do this on you. Can we extend this thing to November, to December? We only have November and December to go. 2 more months. Let's finish 2024 strong. Can we do that?
I tell you what, let's get to 20 deals during November, December, and we'll do it.
No problem. 20 deals is, Joe, I already have 30 deals in your pipeline right now. The 29 portfolio plus the 5 deal, there's already
All
34
right,
deals. There's
we got to
34
take
deals
we
and
got to take the 29 unit out. I didn't
plus
think
all
of
the
that.
plus all the
I
other
didn't
deals.
I didn't
Total, I
think of
have
the 29 unit, right?
total. I
But
have 40 deals
let's
with you.
target 10 fresh ones for each month, and we'll be happy to keep kicking in $1,000. All
No
right.
problem. No problem. Okay, guys, now you heard it. We got this. Joe is giving us extra $1,000 per deal, but it has to be $200,000 and above. Okay.
Yes, please.
Hey, that is again, that is a minimum that we have to meet that requirement. So $200,000 a deal. You submit it in anytime from now until the end of the year, and you close anytime from now until the end of the year, you will get that $1,000 extra bonus on top of your regular commissions. Okay. So again, anything else? Any questions? And now Joe is okay. Well, I see a few things right here. Go Navy. Oh, Jake, are you a Navy guy? um, any questions? Anything you want to share? Anything you want to ask Joe? I mean, again, he's the guy. He's the money guy. I mean, every day you hear from me, you hear from George. Very rarely we ask Joe to come onto our platform. I think this is his second time or third time on our platform ever since we started the Sequoia. But again, we built up a very, very good relationship. I just want everybody to see the trust, the brotherhood, the relationship that we have. I don't, I, you know, it's very binded very, very strongly. So, and if you need any help or whatsoever, I want you to know that you have an entire professional team behind you. You are not out there fighting the war by yourself. You have a whole team of people behind you. If I cannot solve the issue for you, George can do it. If George cannot do it, Joe and his team can do it. So again, please utilize us as much as you can. So Damon, I see your hand is up. Please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate it. Joe, thanks a lot for coming on. We appreciate you. My question is, how big of a project can you handle? Can you handle, you said a couple of million. What about $100 million project?
Well, the biggest loan that I've ever worked on is $88 million that closed. So
Okay.
is it possible? Yes. Those deals truthfully all sound good when they start.
Hmm.
Very few of them really pan out, but the ones that do can get funded. Generally, not always. They tend to be larger apartment complexes being built.
Hmm.
In the old days, it would have been an office type building, but that's kind of gone by the boards, right? That not that many people are building larger office buildings anymore. But you see a lot of multifamily complexes, 30, 40, 50 million based on the number of units they have. They're buying the land, they have to develop the land, then they go vertical. That's pretty common. So that's definitely there to be done.
Okay.
Real limit on the dollar amount that way.
Great, because I have a contact who is a hotel developer, and I needed to find out if we could handle projects of that size. So that's why I
So,
asked that question.
in the hotel world, a lot of times it's going to come down to the party's experience.
Mhm.
If you're building projects like that, generally, not always, but generally, they already own a few major flags.
Mhm.
Usually, people like that are either partnerships with a few other people, and that group will have a pretty significant hold in the hotel market and own quite a number of rooms and door keys. So that's
Mhm.
pretty common, actually. And then depending on what city it's in, is it a growing population, a decreasing population, where it is relative to an airport, um, mass transit, what type of pro sports are around, etc. It's
Right.
due. I mean, Alan and I sat with somebody in New York City that had just put up the single largest hotel in above 125th Street
Yep.
in the history of New York City.
Yep.
So it is possible to be done. And it's interesting. I've been doing hotel motel probably starting in about 2008 or nine during the crash. We did a lot of
Mhm.
work with the people in the industry in workout, helping them maintain their properties during hard times. So
Mm.
it's kind of always been a consistent thing and theme for me.
Great. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you.
You.
Yes, Joe is not just doing 1 to 4 units, but he can also do many other crazy stuff. That's out of the box funding, as he mentioned earlier. So that is he's always my go-to person, especially deals in the East Coast, like New York, New Jersey, Boston, so on and so forth. Um, they can do a lot of crazy things. Joe, would you like to talk to us a little bit about the SBA that you mentioned to me?
Yeah, I think, what's out there now for you and for everybody, one of the easiest opportunities out there to make money. Everybody remembers a couple of years ago when interest rates were 4% and people were really thrilled and happy and excited. But what's happened in the SBA market, a lot of the rates are variable, and as the prime rate has gone up, their rates have gone up tremendously as well. And you have a lot of people out there that have SBA loans for their business, their owner occupied businesses, and those rates are sitting realistically anywhere from 10% to 11%. People are choking to death on that. You can be the white knight, the savior, and come in and offer them a new commercial loan to refinance that loan and bring the rate back down to 7%. Now, 7 might not sound as good as 4, that's true. But if your rate's at 10 and a half, 10 and 3/4, and somebody comes into your office and shows you the ability to get back down to 7%, and you're going to free up a couple $1,000s a month in cash flow, that person is a savior. And that opportunity is out there. So I would be looking to talk to the owner operated businesses where the people own their properties and see if the opportunity to refinance them is there. Because if so, that's a very easy loan for you and you'll get paid well for it. And at the same time, doing something that's really helpful to the owner operator. So it's a real win-win situation. And I think that that loan is there for you around the country to be had. And I would be looking at that seriously. And anybody, accountants, lawyers that I would discuss it with them, talk about their clients, who's in their database. Those people trust their accountants. They trust their CPAs and their attorneys. And if those attorneys and CPAs can tell them about that, you planting the seed that will get you that phone call. Instead of you going to look for them, they'll come look for you. Right. So as you're building your business and introducing yourself to people, that opportunity really exists for you. And I bet you if you just plant those seeds out there within the next 6 months, you'll get a few loans where people actually call you instead of you looking to find them. So I think that's a great opportunity that's out there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Well,
Okay, guys, that's it. That is what you hear from Joe. He's one of our preferred lender. And again, my suggestion to everybody is that, hey, we are already at the last 2 months of 2024. Bring your eyes, this year is gone. Many
yeah,
of on this
amazing.
platform, it's been with Sequoia for a period of time already. So ask yourself, how are you going to finish this year strong? And you heard it. I just negotiated a very good deal for everybody. 1 to 4 unit, $200,000 loan amount. You submit a deal anytime this year. You close it anytime this year or even next year. We will get you that $1,000 extra bonus on top of your commissions. So if I were you, I would go out there and start talking to all these realtors, insurance agents, loan officers, bankers, whoever that you know, and let them know that you can get deal closed. So my challenge to every single one of us in this room is that, hey, at least close one deal a month. Joe, if everybody in this room close one deal a month, that's 20 deals a month. And I will keep tracking that $1,000 from you.
Absolutely. We'll be happy to pay it. Yes.
Yep. Okay, guys, if you don't have any more questions, then we will call it a night. Next Wednesday night, we have our VP, Mr. Bobby Lee, is going to be talking about how do you handle rejections. Many of you are not in sales. Again, Mr. Bobby Lee is a president of his own shop, and he has been in the insurance industry for over 20 years, I believe. And he is going to be here to share with us his trick, how to deal with clients. Think about this. He's selling insurance. Selling insurance is not easy. Personally, I don't think I can sell insurance, but if you can use his technique and his strategy, apply onto the commercial loan, it will be much, much easier for you to get the deal. Okay. Without any further ado, thank you so much, Joe. Always pleasure talking to you. And I know that we have a few more deals closing this week. And ladies and gentlemen, I see you next Wednesday night. Good night.
Thank you for having me
Rico,
on.
Hey, Benny.